Hi, in this topic I'm going to talk about account hierarchies. Account hierarchies is a new feature in Oracle Cloud. We will talk about how to use the terminology tree to refer to a hierarchy. You will see that on later. And what we are really talking about here are the rollups that you define for your reporting other tasks like allocation, revaluations. So for example, this is as like your parent-child relationships. And somehow you are going to use them to identify managerial, legal, or geographical relationship amongst your value set values, and they are date effective, which allow you to reflect organizational changes within each hierarchy over time. So let's start. Account hierarchy are defined in Oracle Fusion application using tree functionality. Each account hierarchy is defined as a tree with one or more versions. Tree versions are used to track account hierarchies as they change over time. For example, an account hierarchy to summarize cost of goods has different accounts for 2020 versus 2023. Based on changes in the business operations and the newly added chart of accounts values, chart of accounts values can be associated with multiple hierarchies by defining multiple trees. Using multiple trees allow you to create financial reports for different target audience. For example, you can use different hierarchies to track cost centers either by geography or line of business. Overview of trees and structure and version and labels. Trees are hierarchies data models that you can use to organize data, apply business rule, control data access, and improve performance while querying. For example, an application maintains data of an organization called Vision Corporation that has two departments, for example, marketing and finance. The finance department has two functional divisions, receivables and payables. You can define a tree for Vision Corporation to establish a hierarchy across its departments and their respective functional divisions. You can use a hierarchy to manage data at various levels of the organization. The tree structure also, as the name suggests, tree structure provides you the framework to organize data such that you can establish hierarchy for use by the tree. So similar to a template, a tree structure guides the creation of a tree. A tree is an instance of the tree structure. The root node is the highest nodal point of a tree. Child nodes branch off from the root node. Child nodes at the same level, branching off from a common parent node, are called siblings. Leaves are details or the low level of the account as the leaves or child account, branching off from a node but not extending further down the tree hierarchy. You can create trees for multiple data sources and share them across applications. Tree versions. Tree by default has only one version. By default, if you create a tree, there is one tree version is created. If required, you can create and maintain more than one editable tree version. At any point, only one tree version must be active. If you edit an existing version, and we will see all of this later, it changes from active to draft. To use it again, you have to set it to active. Similar to any other version control systems, versions of trees are maintained to track all changes that a tree undergoes in its life cycles. The tree labels are short names you give into a tree and the tree structures. You can label the tree versions for better accessibility and information retrieval. Which nodes are created in a tree? The existing tree labels are automatically assigned to the new tree nodes. Also, regarding the nodes, we will see it during define sample one account hierarchy to show you what is the nodes, what is the levels of the parent. There are around 7 level of parents. Parents means there are top parent, grandparent, parent 1, parent 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and child values. You can also use any table or to store the labels and register the label data source with the tree structure. Let's go to the next slide. Account hierarchy purposes. A given segment in the chart of accounts can have multiple hierarchies that are used for different purposes, and each hierarchy can have multiple versions. Then your financial results from any accounting period can be analyzed by using any versions of the account hierarchies as long as the ones you want to use for reporting are published to the cube. There is a file-based data import template that you can use to load segment values and hierarchies. We will see it later, and we will also you can integrate with Oracle Hyperion Data Relationship Management as a DRM. So if you are using DRM, then your hierarchy and chart of accounts values are maintained in there rather than in the cloud application. For the purposes of the account hierarchies, for example, you have your hierarchies for financial reporting, and this must be published to the Space Cube. Oracle Space is a business analytic solution that uses a proven, flexible, best-in-class architecture of analysis and reporting and collaboration. So whatever you define hierarchies, you have to publish to the Space Cube. There is one step to publish the hierarchy, which means that the child values in these hierarchies cannot roll up two different parents within the same hierarchy because that isn't supported within the cube. So to publish the hierarchies to Space Cube, the child must be roll up to only one parent. It's not allowed to roll up the child account to a different parent in the same hierarchy, and the same time to you cannot publish it in Space Cube. So if you have children rolling up to multiple parents, you cannot publish that hierarchy into the cube. We can have hierarchies for our allocations, and again, these have to be published in the cube. So you cannot have children in more than one parent. These hierarchies are used with calculation manager when you are creating your allocation rules. When you are also creating these rules that will spread out your cost over multiple departments, maybe based on head count, that would be an allocations. So you can use hierarchies when you are defining those. So your cost center, if that's what you are spreading your cost out over, that would be the parent of all cost centers that you want to use it in the allocation feature in Oracle Cloud. You can also use hierarchies for cross validation, revaluation, and chart of account mapping. These don't have to be published into the queue. You could with these types of hierarchies that aren't published to the queue, you could have the children going to multiple parents if you wanted it, because it's not required to publish like these hierarchies to the smart queue. The hierarchies that you are using for cross validation, revaluation, chart of account mapping are created within the same hierarchy. They have two associated with a chart of account instance, and you can only associate one hierarchy within a chart of account instance per segment. Let's talk about the setup steps. For the setup steps of the account hierarchies, there are three required steps: importing and loading chart of account data in Oracle, verifying the exported data, and make a publishing for the updated Oracle Financial Ledger hierarchy. There are two types or three types of defined account hierarchy. Through a spreadsheet as FBDI, through rapid implementation spreadsheet, and the manual to go to manage account hierarchy in the system as a setup and maintenance, and create a tree and make a versions and publish and flatting as a column and rows, or through spreadsheet. If you're using the rapid implementation spreadsheet, it will create two hierarchy for you. It will do all of what we have just talked about. It will create hierarchies. It will run the flatting and the auditing. It will set the status to active, and it will publish those hierarchies for you. So if you're using rapid implementation to upload your chart of accounts, for example, account segment values, the system automatic will create two hierarchies. It will also run the flatting and auditing. It will publish. It will set the status to active, because as I mentioned before, there are two or three status of the tree, either active or draft. It must be you have at least one only as active. Draft means sometimes when you do some adjustments, the status changed from active to draft. After that you have to flatting, after that you have to publish. So if you are using the spreadsheet, all of this is done for you. That is just if you were doing it manually, and you can create additional tree versions from the rapid implementation enterprise structure spreadsheet as well. You can also review your account hierarchies after you uploaded through spreadsheet or rapid implementations. You can also check the trees, you can check the status, you can make a publish and flatting row and column. So let's go into application to show you. I'm just logging here to Oracle. If you go to setup and maintenance, if I search manage account hierarchy, manage account hierarchies, again, this is all of the trees or hierarchies which is uploaded. For example, for this hierarchy there is one versions, and you can see here the status as active. This is another tree. There is one is draft, there is one is active, and another circle tree for this is, as I told you, for one segment you can create whatever numbers of account hierarchies and tree. So this is the existing account hierarchies and tree. Now if I need to upload a new one, for example, I will click done. I need to manage chart of account values. Again, what I will do now, I will select my account value set, because you have to take the same value set in your spreadsheet or rapid implementation. For example, this one, if I click on manage values, search, so I will take this value set name as a copy. Here I will define 3 new account, one as a parent, one as a child. So I can put, for example, 440 3 4 and 5 as example in my spreadsheet, and try to upload it and try to come here to check the hierarchies and the tree and what is the status. So first of all, you have to go to Google and just manage import chart of account segment values. Again, import segment values and hierarchies. Go to down, search for general ledger. This is import segment values and hierarchies. Just click on the link here as XLS template. I just need to remove if there any block or not. This is the spreadsheet. Just as you see here, chart of account segments, values and hierarchy import template. And in our steps, you have to import and loading, verifying the exported, and publishing the updated Oracle Financial. As I told you before, if you upload the hierarchies through rapid implementations, it will do all of these steps for you. It will verifying, it will flattening, it will also publishing to the Space Cube. So let's go into Oracle. Before Oracle, let's go to setup and maintenance and check manage value set. Manage chart of account value set values again, and select as a general ledger. Search. This is my value set code. I can click on manage values and search. This is my values and this is my value set code. I need to take a copy because I'm going to import chart of account segment values. Just write import chart of account segment values and hierarchies. There is one XLSM template. Just click on the link and download it. Open the file and fill the data. So I just need to remove the unblock and again open. Once you open, there are two tabs. Once you fill the data in these two tabs, you will go to generate CSV file. The first tab, as you see here, what is the value set code you are using for this hierarchy? Are you using value set company, cost center, account, company, legal entity, intercompany, whatever value set? I take my value set code of my account. What is the values? I can take any of these accounts in my chart of account value set count values. So I can take, for example, 44400 as my parent, and the child will be 01 and 02. Here 01, here 02. What is the start date? 2001. This is just for using, or today I have hierarchy, but tomorrow or next year, next quarter, I have another hierarchy. So I can put start date and end date, depends on the changes or organizational changes or value set changes. The summary flag for the parent, it will be yes. For the child will be no, to tell the system that is not no. Is it enabled? Yes. All of them is enabled. What is the account type? Is it asset? Is it expense? Is it revenue? Owner equity, liability? All of them is A as assets because it started by 1. Is it allow posting, yes or no? I will put it no and yes, yes. As you see here, the values like this. Is it summary, yes or no? Is it allow posting, yes or no? Is it allow budgeting? What is the reconcile? Is it yes also or no? This is the same values in the template. So here allow posting, yeah or no? I can put allow budgeting as a yes. Allow budgeting, yes and yes. Reconcile is no, no, no. Sorry, as a third party like this. Here third party also no. For the reconcile, this is for the parent is no, for the child yes, I need to allow the reconcile. So this is the first one. I need to delete the dummy data. What is the values? What is the value set code? What is the start date and date? Which is summary as a parent, which is not as a child. To the next step is to tell the system relations between the parent and the child. As you see here, we have at level 10 as a parent, you can have parent to parent, grandparent, parent 1, parent 2, parent 3, blah blah blah. So you can define it here. Again, the system will ask you what is the value set code. I still have the value set code. What is the tree code? I will put MOS tree. Again, copy and paste. What is the version? MOSV. So again here, the start date like whatever we put it before. End date, there is no any end date. How many level of parent you have? I have only one parent, which is double or 111100. And how many child you have? I have only two, 101, 102. This is the values. So here I have only level 1 of parent. This is my parent. The value means the child. Where is child under this parent? This and this. Again, if you have another parent, you can put it here and put the child here. If you have third two parent as a parent 2, you put it here. And under this parent, there is one another parent. Under this parent, I have like these values as child. Again, delete this, the dummy data. So I put it start date, tree code, version, name as start date also, what is parent, what is child, and again here where is it summary or not. Once you finished, just generate CSV file. I will put MOS. Again I will put MOS. And in my desktop save. Once you generated the CSV file and saved in your computer, come back to the Oracle and taskbar here. Go to down, file import and export. Click add new icon, select your file, whatever we added here, and what is the account? It will be fine / general ledger / import. Fine general ledger import. Save and close. Once it's done, here again go to tools, okay, this is I uploaded. Just go to again tools to submit schedule process. Schedule new process as load interface. File for import, again okay. The parameter will be what is the import process. Is it import segment values and hierarchy? Just search by import segment. Okay. Import segment values and hierarchy. Okay. What is the data file? The data or the file, whatever we uploaded before. Click submit. There is one process submitted. It will give you, it will start by load. After upload, it will try to import the segment values and hierarchy, and it will give you the status, either error, and once is there any error, you have to go to log file and check the status, or it's succeeded. So succeeded, it means the hierarchy is uploaded successfully. As you see here, the load is succeeded. Now the import segment either error or succeeded. Now import segment values and hierarchy is succeeded. Just click it to sure all of the same succeeded. Once it succeeded, again go to setup and maintenance, manage hierarchy to check the hierarchy. If you remember the name, if most mosv, manage hierarchy. Again, manage account hierarchy and go down, just search or go down, most, if you remember the tree and the version mosov. It's active, it's everything is done, because if you upload it through rapid implementation or a spreadsheet, the system will do everything, will make it active, will make flattening column and row, will also make published to Space Cube as we discussed before. If I click on it as a version, yes, update 3 to check, we have 3 level 101, 102 under our parent MOSV, MOST as whatever we defined here. Here MOST, MOSV, right? So this is how to download and how to import, how to check it. You can again edit, you can edit here, you can delete, you can export the nodes to check whatever nodes is there. You can also add a new one. So just cancel. Again, if you have a case, for example in this tree, the organization or the stakeholders asked you to move child from one parent to another parent in the same hierarchy. Just check what is the name of the hierarchy. If you example, I have here parent 999901 and another parent 999902. The system or the stakeholders ask you to move this child from this under this parent to be under this parent. Just hold on and drag under this like this. That's it. You don't need to create a new version, a new tree, a new hierarchy. Just I go to the same hierarchy and whatever the child I need, hold the mouse, drag to the parent whatever I need. That's it. Okay, in case of I have now 2023 is finished, I am in 2024, so I need to create a new tree. Again, I can come to the tree and make duplicate. System will ask you duplicate. This is 2024 tree. Yes, save and close. It will make a duplicate tree version in progress. Once it's completed, it will appear here. Okay, succeeded. And it is here. So I can come to it, I can edit to put a new effective start date and the new end date, the beginning of the 2024 to the ending, and again come back to the old one to put the end date. Then you can go to here, it will be draft. Once it's created, it will be draft. Once you finished and make the flatten like here, once you try to audit to check is it audited or not, is it online or scheduled, okay, and make the flatten column flatten, and I will online flattening, and again another flattening for the row, succeeded, again done. This is flatten column and action flatten row. This to optimize the parent and the child relationships. This is the flatten to check that everything is okay, then okay and done. You can also make the auditing as an online or the schedule. I can make audit also as online auditing to check if there any error or not. Okay, done. So you can go to make a publish of the account hierarchy. So here you can also manage the status. Is it draft? Is it active? Is it inactive? This is, in some cases you make it draft because, as we said before, you have at least one hierarchy as active. So you can change or manage the status from here as a draft, or no need for these three now. I'm going to create a new one. So just set the status as active, or sorry, inactive, to create a new one. So this is how to import segment values, how to fill the template, how to load it, how to import it and check the status. Is there error? Error reasons, for some cases you define a parent as summary flag is no. Other thing is that you make, you didn't fill the required data, you're missing any data. All of these cases, it giving you error status. And these cases you have to check the log file and check what is the reasons, and again download the template, refill it again and re-import and reload and check the status again. This is how to maintain the tree, how to inactivate, how to activate, how to take a copy, how to make adjustments, how to move a child from parent to parent, like a maintenance of your account tree. Through spreadsheet or rapid implementation, the system will make flatten, will make audit, will make everything for you. You just fill the template or rapid implementation or spreadsheet and import it successfully. So let's come back to our slide. So this is the steps. What is the next slide? This is a publish. If you define it as a manually, you will need to make it publish manually. Again, through here, there is one option as manage, or sorry, publish account hierarchy. Search for your hierarchy, just put it here, whatever the hierarchy you need to publish. Again, publish is just selected because this is published before. I will select another one for example this, search, open tree, and this one you can publish. Publish, as I told you before, that publish to the SBS Cube. This is a tool for reporting, analyzing like this. But again, if you have hierarchy and one child in this hierarchy under 2 or 3 or 4 parents, you cannot publish to SBS Cube, because SBS Cube only each child must be under one parent and not assigned to a lot of parents. So let's come back to our slides. This is a published account hierarchy, but if you again upload this to a spreadsheet or rapid implementation, the system will do it for you. So what is the next slide here? To create account hierarchy versions, you can search for the tree as I showed you before, enter the name, description, effective date, use a flatten to optimize parent and child relationship, and set the status to active and inactive for the hierarchy. Here, once you define a new one, you have to set the status to active for the version and active for the hierarchy. Regarding recommendations for initial publishing, if you start with only one version of hierarchy and you add multiple versions of the hierarchy later, then the fully qualified member name changes. Therefore, it is recommended that you always create at least 2 hierarchy versions before creating any financial reports or allocations. This will force the fully qualified member name with 2p generated and refers to the full tree name 3 versions and minimize the report maintenance if you must add another version in the future. It's recommended to always create at least 2 hierarchy versions. To avoid maintenance effort when more hierarchies are published, it's recommended for you to follow the recommendations to create 2 versions of the same tree before creating any financial reports or allocation. Keep the 2 tree version in sync always to guarantee fully qualified names are used in financial reports and allocations. Use the same tree version names over time to avoid breaking your reports or configurations, and also use different hierarchies if you have requirement to roll the same child to more than one parent. The initial configuration steps must be completed before the definition of any financial reports, allocation rules, or smart view queries. Again, if you see here, if you have some chart of account as a cost center hierarchy for 2011, and after that you need to update it, just copy, do it, and change the effective start date and date, and publish whatever you did. So what is next? Again, for the maintenance, as your organization changes or there are updates to your chart of account values, you can make updates to your hierarchy versions. These changes must also be reflected in 2 hierarchy versions for each hierarchy, both published to the cube to minimize errors related to the fully qualified member name pass in financial reports, allocate rules, or smart view queries. If you want to keep an audit history, it's recommended that you copy the hierarchy version and use the copy as the versions for audit history. After you copy the hierarchy versions, modify the same version to use as at least or as at the latest version. You don't have to change report. Just keep an audit history, copy the hierarchy version and use the copy as a version of audit history. After you copy the hierarchy, modify the same version to use as the latest version. As you see here is example as a copy, and after you copy the cost center, you modify to create a new version and delete the old baseline or the old version and publish to the smart queue. Hierarchies for cross-validation, re-evaluation, and chart of account mapping. Hierarchies you can create for reporting or allocations may not be suitable for setting up cross-validation, re-evaluation, and chart of account mapping rules. For example, if you must enforce a cross-validation rule that a set of 20 departments is applicable only to a certain company, then you can group the 20 departments under a hierarchy node and refer to that hierarchy node in the cross-validation rules. Also, if you know that there are limitations, if you have more than 20 or 99 conditions filter, you cannot do it in cross validations. So in this case, you can create a hierarchy and assign it to cross validations, or you can make a filter with a parent which all of these 99 as a child values under this parent or roll up to this parent. So how to create hierarchies for either cross-validation, re-evaluation, and chart of accounts mapping? First, you have to create within a one hierarchy. You can create one hierarchy for all of these three purposes within a one hierarchy. Associate this hierarchy to the chart of account segment instance in the chart of accounts instance setup page. Once you create the hierarchy, you just associate it in the account segment instance in the chart of account instance setup page. You can only associate again one hierarchy within the chart of account instance, only one hierarchy, no more than. Create a separate root nodes for each segment of the hierarchy. If your cross validations depends on more than one segment, you can create a separate root nodes for each segment. Create account hierarchy for each of the segments that are used in the rule setups. Depending on your requirement, not all segments maybe need a hierarchy, right? Maybe I need to use only account segment, and with a cost center I need to use a unit segment with account cost center with a company, like these conditions, or like these segments, or just I need hierarchy for only 2 or 3 segments, all of my chart of account segments. Use the same child to roll up to different parents if you need to different roll up of cross validation. If you remember, we said that you can publish any hierarchy which is a one child roll up to only one parent, but you cannot publish a hierarchy if the child is roll up to different parents, in which cases I need to roll up one child to a different parents in cross-validation, re-evaluation, and the chart of account mapping. Then you can flatten and audit, as you see before, flatten column, flatten row, and audit the hierarchy, and set the status to active. I show you this process or these steps before on the tree and the version. Just set the action, activate, make flatten, make audit. Associate the hierarchy to the chart of account segment instance. Once you finished flatten, audit everything, and the status now is activate or active, associate it to the chart of account segment instance. Then redeploy the accounting flex field after the chart of account is updated, like compile. If you have the duplicate segment value in a hierarchy, you should not publish the hierarchy to Oracle space, because child is roll up to different parent. For the tables or the query or the report, there is one table fnd_tree, which this is all of the relationship between parent and the child, all of these hierarchies is stored in these tables. You can select whatever you need from these tables, and this is a small query you can write to fetch the data for the GL accounts hierarchies. Just make a connection with your database as a Fusion and as a tool or SQL query, and write this query of write whatever you want to extract the hierarchy structures for your report wise for your managerial area, because as you know that this parent as a summary is not appear to the users to enter the transactions, but by the end the managerial level need to know whatever is parent, what is his parent, what is the child under each parent. Like this data you have to build a report. There is only one standard report for maintain account hierarchy. This is if you make changes for hierarchy, you just run maintain chart of accounts hierarchy, I think, like in e-business version. That's it. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your comment. Thank you.